This week on the show, we're looking back at 2017. That's right, it's only a couple days into the new year, so we're going to take a look back on 2017, and we're all going to discuss what we feel is the biggest change that came to Guild Wars 2 last year. We also have what we call news, and we take some time to catch up after the 3-week break. On Shadow of the Dragon. Welcome to Shadow of the Dragon. This is episode number 56.
56, y'all. 56.
Woo! Hype.
Yay.
Kora's talking between coughs. She's such a trooper.
Poor Kora.
Poor Kora. Oh.
Happy
New Year, everyone. How's it going?
New Year.
Happy New Year, guys.
2018.
Can't believe it.
Feels like we've been gone forever.
Yeah, 3 weeks. 3 weeks, it's a long time.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So who wants to start? Who wants to talk about what they've done for? Who's done the most in Guild Wars 2? Gallios.
Probably me.
Gallios. So Gallios, what have you been up to in the past 3 weeks?
Dude, I went back into when they lifted the blackout on World v. World. I decided to go back in and just said, you know what, screw it. I'm going to go have fun. I'm going to be the old Gallios. Just go in, shut off all the outside noise, and just play. And that's what I did. And it was like a whole new experience again, going back to the way I felt in the beginning, just not without any expectation, didn't give a crap whether or not we were losing or winning. And just played. And I got to say I've been having a blast lately. You know, the server has not been as full as I would like it to be. Yeah. But you know, it's been fun. It's just not giving a crap. Just stop giving a crap. And it becomes fun because you start remembering why you played a certain game mode in the first place. So that's what I've been doing mostly. I did go in. Yeah.
Can you remind people what ban you were talking about? It's not ArenaNet banning people. It was the...
No. Ozzy the Mighty's talking about bans. I'm trying to get the story from him in chat. Or
I know, but like...
But we're talking about the WW blackout for JQ.
Blackout, okay.
Yeah, for
okay,
JQ. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, JQ did a blackout. We were trying to see if we could get them to open our server because we are low on numbers. We've lost lots of guilds. And, you know, we blacked out hoping that the low population would show that we needed the server to be open. Not that I think we really needed any help getting the server open because it's still, I mean, honestly, the numbers are so low, it probably won't even matter. So... Well, we've dropped tiers.
Yeah, I mean, just looking, I mean, just listening to the people on the server, it seems like there's still some people that are kind of not participating, and you know, I don't think we're doing an organized blackout anymore. It failed miserably. JQ hasn't been open in, God, I want to say 9 months now.
At least, at the very minimum, it's been 9 months.
Yeah,
so. I almost said 12, but.
Some people have said many years. You know, it's been multiple years. So we're just trying to play WW. So, you know, we have our internal server plan that, you know, they updated today in chat and stuff that, you know, we'll just stick with that. Have fun.
Yes. So everybody's got a little bit better attitude. I mean, you still got the people that are on there. Oh, we're dead. Yeah, JQ's dead. I'm like, yeah, it's not dead. It's only dead because...
People are giving up.
It's only dead. Yeah, it's only dead if you want it to be, and it's, you know, just embrace that you're going down to a lower tier. Embrace it, and find the fun where you can find the fun. Find the fights where you can find the fights. That's what I've been doing. I will tell you this: lower tiers, Gallios gets more kills. So my kill count has gone up tremendously.
So what I'm
But
hearing is that I
pretty
need to
much
hop in game to
Yeah.
get that commander's
it is
We're
boon.
in tier
fun.
4
There you
right
go.
now. I would
Yeah.
jump in with a Taggy McTaggy build and just
Oh, tier
just
4, really?
yeah.
You're with us with Darkhaven? Are we
Are
down
we
tier
down?
4
Are
now?
we
Yeah,
still
Or
y'all
we still
are on
lower?
Y'all are either with CD or Stormbluff Isles actually right now, I think.
I
Crystal
have no
Desert.
idea. I
Mm.
believe you.
So, or y'all were last week with somebody because I remember seeing Darkhaven in there. I have a tune on Darkhaven, so
I know, you remember you told
I
me.
could I could jump in
We were
there.
going to go and cause havoc.
But
Yeah, lots of it.
if there's no, when there's nobody on JQ fighting anybody from Darkhaven, I'll go. I just can't. I can't go backwards away. But anyway, that's what I've been doing. I did a little bit of. I actually jumped in game, and Winners was on one day. I was out of work with the kids at the house, and we started working on the Griffin again. And I've got everything I need except the gold. So I just have to save up enough gold to buy the stuff, and I'll have my Griffin.
Just to
Awesome.
I'm just gonna address Ozzy the Mighty in chat real quick. WW is worth it. WW is a very good game mode that has been allowed to kind of stagnate over time. It's not in its fault. A lot of people might point the finger at ANET, but the biggest issue is that there is a collection of guilds that have decided to stack one server, and then there's a bunch of bandwagoners and stuff like that. And I don't mean to be mean, but really what it comes down to is most of the player population is on Blackgate, so much so that Blackgate has now become the standard that ANET measures population by. So it's more of a player-driven issue. I doubt that ANET would go looking for another game mode. They don't want the two outside of PvE that they have now, in my opinion. But that's that. WW is worth it. It's just we all kind of have to get on the same page, and as players try and fix it. In my opinion.
Yeah, and it would have to be a coming together, and people would have to be willing to balance it. Other than that, the only other thing I could think is maybe doing a faction style setup to where you choose a faction out of 3, and then just have mega servers. And that would be the only option I could see. Because if you do, we tried, like we were pretty successful in the early stages of World v World of being able to balance the servers ourselves. We did a pretty good job. They kept the servers open. People would transfer if it looked too heavy on one side. Some of the guilds would talk it over and they'd be like, hey, you know what? We want to be able to fight. We don't mind fighting each other. Let's go to another server. And, we balanced it out a little bit in the beginning. But right now, you don't have a chance to balance. So even if you wanted to, like, say, for instance, Kora for a long time was a tier 1 server. It was just a lot of guilds that played World v World. It was a World v World server with PvE as a secondary. And then it kind of started to balance out a little bit. So we lost a lot of players in the World v World field. But since mega servers came around, nobody really cared about changing servers anymore because they could play with their friends in PvE. Well, that sucks for World v World because it requires you to be on the server to play other servers, if that makes any sense. So
it's in the player's hands. The long and short of it is it's no longer in ArenaNet's hands. It's in the player's hands, and it's not going to be fixed until the players decide to spread out the guilds, and that's really on the players.
So I think eventually it'll come around again. I just love the game mode, so I've been playing it regardless. It's kind of a mix of PvP and strategy at the same time, so it works out for me. And again, like I said, even in getting into the lower tiers, I actually can survive longer solo than I could before. So it's not so bad. It's not so bad. I've been having a really good time. But anyway, that's what I've been doing, the Griffin and World v World lately. And then of course we did Toypocalypse, which was a blast.
Yeah, with the guys at Talking Script. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's the only Winter's Day stuff I did was that. I didn't do much
we'll
Winter's
talk about
Day.
Winter's Day.
I
All
didn't
right,
have the
Gallios,
time.
pass the baton. Who gets
So, who's going? Let's hear from Miko.
Oh my gosh. After our last show, I got that job I applied for.
Yay!
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 So I'm in the middle of coordinating a cross-country move. And
Ooh.
that's all that I've been working on, besides trying to get work things wrapped up. And thanks, guys. And yeah, Christmas happening and New Year's happening in the middle of all of that. And so I'm moving next week is the week. So
Dang.
You're gonna be all
I-
moved in and ready to go in 2 weeks,
yeah.
right? Because we record 2
Yeah.
weeks from today.
I mean,
Yeah,
all
when we
she
record 2 weeks
needs-
from today, I'll be settled in my new place. Hopefully,
You're a
my
machine.
internet is going to be super fast here, apparently. So it's
Wow.
I'm excited.
That's
you just
cool.
need your headset, computer, webcam, and internet. You know, like everything else can be set up later.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
All right.
that's the deal.
That's it.
That's what I've been doing. I didn't play much at all. I bought the cozy, what is it? The little Winter's Day mount pack
Yeah.
to dress up.
I think it
them.
was a cozy mount pack or cozy season mount pack.
Cute.
I
So
was actually surprised that came out at
They were
1600.
cute.
That came out
Yeah.
at 1600 gold and or gems, and so did the demonic flying pancake thing.
And then they brought them in apparently earlier this week, and they're at 2K, the mount pack skin pack. Yeah, for the Winter's Day one. They brought them back this week.
They brought
after
them back at 2,000 gems.
at 2K. Yeah, because 1600 was the sale price.
And just like that,
Dang.
there goes the praise I gave them. Anyway, pass the baton. Pass the baton.
I went home and saw the family, so I was without computer. And then I got back and immediately caught the plague, and just like zombified me. It zombified me. I couple times I logged in game to see if I had any messages, or with like the vague concept of like, I can just sit here and run around and do Winter's Day stuff and have fun. And like 15 minutes later it was like, and I just spent all my energy. I'm gonna go nap. So yeah, I'm so bummed. I missed Winter's Day. So yeah, so I haven't been doing anything. I've been thinking about the game a lot. I posted on Twitter and in Discord a couple, like I think 3 goals that I have for this year. One, I want to finally make a legendary. I want to get good at raiding. Shut up, Gord.
We lost
And then
Gallios.
I finally want to grind out the Heart of Thorns masteries. I don't have any Heart of Thorns masteries maxed out. Not one. And some of them, I think I have like maybe just the first or second tier. So that speaks to how much fun I had on those maps.
That's good.
And how
You got
excited I am to go back into them.
Well, we got mounts now though, so maybe it'll make
do.
things will go a little bit easier.
No, because my problem is that so many of the events that you need to do to earn the map currency or whatever,
Mhm.
so that I can go buy the thing that I need or to just grind out the XP and get the mastery points. So many of them are basically impossible to do solo. You
Yeah, you got to
would
have the
require-
events going and
Yeah.
completing.
Which means you also have to have like other people who know what they're doing. A few weeks ago, right before I left for the holidays, Tankin was helping me run around and grind up some experience and get mastery points. And there was one little event chain we hit in a Heart of Thorns map, and it requires like you have to take the enemies down in like a certain order at like the right timing to get the thing to. And he kept shouting, like he kept putting in chat like, guys, let them all respawn so we can start in like the right order. And people just kept killing him. So it was like 20 minutes of like, we're not actually making any progress. Like we're in the same area. I'm grinding out a little experience, but we're not making progress. So yeah, so that was frustrating. I just, by and large, don't have fun on most Heart of Thorns maps. Solo.
Yeah.
Get me
So-
with other people and it gets a
Yeah.
bit
Yeah,
better.
it gets better.
So
Yeah.
maybe next weekend, I've got some free time. I wouldn't
That
mind
would be
running
awesome.
with you. I don't
Yeah.
mind helping out. So we
That
could
would
do
be
that
awesome.
for next weekend.
Yeah.
Boom.
If I would totally send you gold to help with your Griffin, but I think I have 6 gold, which you are welcome to have. All
I
of
don't
my
need any
money.
help. I just spent a lot. Like when I started doing it, I just bought until I ran out of gold. And then I'm back up to 30 gold again. I could buy another
Ooh.
piece, but I'm just going to wait until I get more. Maybe I'll sell one of my skins or something that I haven't purchased yet. So I've got tickets.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, anyways, those are my 3 goals
shut
that I'm
up,
going to be
Gord. I
working
know why
on.
you're laughing. He who do not trieth to make gold and makes gold.
I'm right. The jerk. He's like, hey, guess how much gold I have today? I've got like
I only have
300,000.
150 gold.
I have 6, Gord. I have 6. Okay. So yeah, but otherwise just not do anything. The Winter's Day zine came out, so that was really exciting seeing on social media everybody's reaction to it. Dolvik was just mentioning that he has to go read the zine. So hopefully you'll enjoy my work, Dolvik. It was a really great process going through that. I'm really excited to see the Guild Mag annual when that comes out.
Yeah.
Because I saw my my proof copy of like my work, and I had written the thing in a special format, and I wasn't sure if it was gonna work, and I sent it in, and was it Valiant?
Valiant.
Yes, sent me the proof copy, and I was like, oh my god, you guys like did things with it and made it look exactly like what I saw in my head, and I'm so excited, and I hope people like it. Especially because that was the one that I really struggled on. Like, it did not want to be written in any form except like this one, and it took me forever to realize this is how the story wants to be told. So, but that's it for me. Gord, what have you been up to?
I actually did play some Winter's Day, but before that, I want to say, Kit put in chat, Kit the Traveler is making 21 freaking legendaries to give away as part
Dang.
of the
Kit.
Kit the Traveler giveaways and weekend stuff. So if you don't follow
That's
Kit the
awesome.
Traveler and
Go
go to
follow her now.
kitthetraveler.com, you're nuts. 21
Exactly.
freaking legendaries. She's a machine.
She is the bomb.
That's like almost 2 a month.
Yeah.
Jeez.
All right,
Yeah.
so back to it. I actually jumped into Winter's Day, and I was very sorely disappointed about how much AP is no longer in the festival, and I kind of suspected this from Halloween, but I didn't have much to work on. I did the new jumping puzzle paths, which were pretty awesome. I like that they switched that stuff up, but I mean,
I almost made it. I could see the big present box. And I got to the little cliffs that zigzag like this at the end and wasn't paying attention and zigged when I should have zagged and fell right off. I was so
That
mad.
happens.
I was like, rage quit. Time to go.
Oh man.
it was pretty fun, and I told you, if you did the Quaggan path, if you're not used to the Quaggan path now, takes more than half, less. It takes away less than half of what it usually does. So I think it only ticks off like 126 per tick, and the snow doesn't disappear, neither do the candy canes.
Oh, so they made like an easy path. They made a Kora path.
Exactly.
They made a Kora path and nobody told me?
Apparently
well,
they
you were
haven't made
sick.
a Gallios path yet.
You were sick. So anyway, there was that. The middle path is regular, and then there was the gingerbread path, which I beat all 3 on the first try. It wasn't that hard, but it was nice to mix it up. And then I looked at the AP, and I was like, I could earn no AP from the Jingle Bells, which is my favorite Winter's Day thing. So there's really no sense of me doing it. The best part of it was the orphans, as usual, which gives about 120 karma per day. I mean, the rest of it was kind of like womp womp. So I got my garrison to level 2. Woo!
That's good. Yeah, I will say the little bit I popped in before I left on my vacation, I did notice. I mean, there's a lot of like annual things, and a lot of like infinite things. But
Well,
I don't pay attention to the KP. But there was nothing to earn.
One set I finished completely. It's a one-time Winter's Day stuff. Then there's the annual stuff, and I believe the annual stuff maxes at 25 AP. So once you hit 25 AP, that's it. It's done. No more.
For me, I think not regret because I love it. I earned my Winter's Presence shoulder piece, the snow effect, last year. And it had been introduced, what was it, the year before? Or 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, something like that. So I had been, like, that was the thing that I had been working on. And people really helped me out last year with the drinks, was the hardest thing. Those stupid drinks. So
I have a bunch of them
having-
sitting in my bank that nobody
Right,
wants to
so-
buy anymore.
So having Winter's Presence now, I'm sort of like, as much as I still love Winter's Day because I love all the decorations and it is, there are things that are fun and I'm working on the dailies. There's no goal that I had.
Right.
So as much as I missed logging in, like at the same time I was like, well, it didn't really matter that I got sick because it wasn't like there was anything for me to like
Work towards.
work towards.
There was. I don't want to
So-
make it sound like there wasn't, but there's not
Yeah.
not as much AP to farm as there was for me last year. So I
Well, for-
barely had anything open for achievement points. I had 4 categories, I believe. 2 of them were the to donate the fruitcake and to give 1,000 snowflakes to Drubert or Drubert, Drubert.
Yeah.
Which I did pretty easily, and then the typical donations to Ho-Ho-Tron didn't give any AP to me. And I mean, there was really only 4 categories I could work for, so.
No, for me, I would have liked to have a new item. Like at the same, like, okay, it's going to take me a couple years like it did with Winter's Presents. And like, I'm going to need other people's help trying to, to get the stuff. But like having that thing, like a special helmet or like.
Well, they did do a helmet.
I don't know.
There was a new
But
recipe
no, I mean, like-
for a eggnog helmet, which was kind of fun. People kind of worked that out on Reddit, how to get that recipe together and stuff. So it was fun. I mean, I don't want to sound like a party
No, I
pooper.
mean,
It just
no,
wasn't a lot
there
for
was
me to do.
definitely stuff. But for me, it was like the Winter's Present had been for so long that thing that up on the pedestal of what I'm working towards. And it's even got its own tab in the festival, like Winter's Day festival, of like, you need to do all these things to get the thing. So having like a new thing with things. I'm going to stop talking.
No, I mean, it makes sense. But I mean, they did do the eggnog helmet, which was new. The thing is that they did finally touch it. They added stuff. They changed the jump and puzzle. They added
Mount
a new
race.
skin in. The mount race came in and everything else. The only thing that scares me is I have long time achievements open still in Super Adventure Box. And I hope that they don't close those off and cap those because most of it's in tribulation mode. And I kind of feel like I have to rush through and get that stuff done now. For some reason, to me, maybe it's just me, it seems like that they're really downscaling how much AP you can earn in game. And I don't know why.
I was about to ask you, would you have any theories on why they would be?
I think it has to do with gold.
I have a lot to go anyway, so I'm in no danger.
Well,
I mean, I'm not either, but
I
know
just
for
crossed
people like Gord,
29K, and it was a little disappointing because in a lot of the other expansions and stuff, there were 5-point AP achievements, 10-point AP achievements, and it didn't seem to be that many in Path of Fire to me. They seemed to be more like 1 point and 3 point. There's a couple 5 points, a couple 10 points, but it just seems like they're scaling down how much AP goes out.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Even the new stuff kind of seemed low to me, but that might just be me. So that's that. But I did make a New Year's resolution. I'm going to perfect.
Make a new legendary?
Well, yeah. I'm going to finish my legendary back piece, which I'm halfway done with for WW.
Cool.
So I'm
Awesome.
working on my Dome Warriors armor and trinkets, and then I'm going to start throwing up domes.
They need more domes on our
Romo in
server.
chat
Hey.
says POF had AP. It's kind of how it feels. But, in Romo's defense, Romo's sitting at, 32K AP? And that's where you're really, really struggling and searching for achievement points. And you do feel the difference,
Yeah, I haven't. The little chests that they award where you get like the glowy or the fiery
Mm-hmm.
armor pieces. I haven't finished. I think I'm maybe 8,000, 9,000.
I think you're at 9K, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
Something like that. So for me, I like the concept of AP. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's great, whatever.
Yeah.
But for the people who are maxed out, yeah, there's a part of me that wants to be like, Arena Set should just throw in like another whole nother tier line for you guys, and then like knowing you guys, you'd finish it in like a month and be like content drought.
Right.
No, I don't.
Just because you're so good at acquiring it, whereas me, it would be like another
Yeah.
10 years and I still wouldn't have it all.
Well,
I
you
would
you
say
absorb more of it, is
Yeah.
what I'm guessing. You absorb more of what you're playing.
I would just say that at the pace that they're putting content out, nobody can call a content drought. Even if the content, even if you can get through the content in a couple hours, it's going to take you a couple days to get through the map, and it's going to take you a couple weeks, if not months, to farm this stuff. So I think with their current pace of content release, it's really good. You don't feel that content drought, and if you do, then maybe you can play something else for a little bit and come back. Inks just said in chat that while they slowed it down to not have to add more rewards, and he said he really feels that the system should be looked at. So there's that.
Yeah.
And Dovik has no playtime.
And I've got enough tickets to buy the last piece for the legendary backpack.
Good man.
Nice.
I'm just holding
Awesome.
on to it because I think I need a few more pieces to actually create it.
Good man.
So I'm gonna do that'll be my next legendary. Woohoo!
I have everything ready. I just need to get tickets, and that's it. I have all the gifts made. Everything's ready to go.
Yeah,
So-
I didn't make the gifts yet,
Nice.
but I've got the mats for them. I just haven't made them yet.
So that's it. We're good.
We're good.
All right.
Let's move on to the news.
Give me a second here. My good old
Gotta do
tablet.
his music thing.
I do.
He's never ready for
Ready
it.
to go
either.
to sleep?
I'm not. I'm like all lazy. I'm such a bad podcaster now. All right. So with that, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And welcome back.
It was a long and drawn out wait.
It was.
I know everybody that's in chat is like, you guys are silly. That's not a break. Anyway, so despite the break and everything that kind of went down, ANET being out of the office for a couple weeks, good for them. We did have some news. So first things first was Winter's Day. I kind of gave my review. Anybody else want to add anything to that?
I had
think
the
we
plague.
covered it. Yeah, I think we covered it pretty well.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I didn't play much Winter's Day this year at all. I really didn't. I enjoyed Toypocalypse, but I didn't really dive into it very much. I thought I would do the jumping puzzle and finally finish it this year. And like I said, it's just not Gord. It's just not Gallios
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Just
Those
not.
jumping puzzles.
Yeah.
Those fun jumping puzzles.
I'm with you there,
Ugh.
man.
I feel like that's slang that we should now use for when we like don't like something. Like it's
I
just not
love jumping
Gallios.
puzzles.
Yeah.
I
It's just
do
not
all my
Gallios
jumping
worthy.
puzzles.
It's not
Like-
Gallios worthy.
I just do all my jumping puzzles on my Norn, just because I can. So that's it. Nobody wants to add anything for Winter's Day.
Nope. Mm-mm.
All right, next festival is coming up. It should be Lunar New Year with Super Adventure Box right on its heels. So can't wait for that. All right, so the next bit of juicy information, ArenaNet has announced that they will be doing weekly and bi-weekly forum chats, they're being called, but more akin to the AMAs. So it was posted on, well, it just says December 2017, no date, but Gail Gray had posted, we love you, Gail, as we look to start off a new year, we want to let you know about an exciting new initiative we're going to offer here on the forums. Bi-weekly ArenaNet forum chats with Guild Wars 2 developers or development teams. These chats will be our take on the concept of a developer AMA. And there's many other things posted on there. The question I have is, are they going to stop doing AMAs on Reddit?
I mean, it kind of would hint that they're gonna stop that they want it more on their personal forums instead of this forum that they can't really control. But I don't know.
Yeah, I thought the same thing as Dolvik, that it feels like a throwback to the CDIs that they had years ago, 3 years ago now.
Yeah, I mean, the AMAs became kind of a release date tradition, and my only comment to this, hold on, first time I'm whipping this out.
Oh wait,
here.
tinfoil hat.
Oh
Tinfoil hat
no!
time.
My only thing is that you cannot get banned on Reddit. If you say something on one of these AMAs, they have a lot more control over the content, and they ignore stuff on Reddit, and as it is, but you can pick up a 8-hour to 72-hour ban for discussing things. And the other thing that makes me nervous about it is just happened last show. Skyforge, and I forgot the digits of his or her character name, but they put up a very well written post on WW and things that could be done to change it and make it better and everything else, and it was deleted. So that's my only concern with it.
Papers, please.
Yeah, which is sort of
Papers,
ties back
please.
into what I said. Like they can control their better, which is from their standpoint for marketing, like it's a smart decision.
It's
like you want to control the appearance of things.
It's bad.
It makes sense, but from
somebody is like
player point of view, is it me? It can't be me.
It sounded like somebody was like demolishing a house or something.
I was moving my mic. I'm sorry.
Oh, Gallios. Jesus.
What did I
Sorry.
say? I said he's got his hands full
God.
of the thing. He's doing all sorts of things that we can't see. Crocheting, moving mics.
Yeah, but just to touch on that, the AMAs were, I guess there was a perception of a actual but an actual forum where people could be heard and have access to the devs and ask questions. And we all know that a lot of the questions that got asked just went off for not, weren't answered at all, weren't even acknowledged at all. And they could kind of pick and choose what they want to see without being on the blame. It is a real issue here that if you say something on the forums, you can get banned. Your account can be banned. And that, I won't take part in it.
Yeah, but like, I wonder, and this is me not paying attention to like, well, what have people said on the forums before that's got them banned?
It's very, I can say it's very subjective. There's no real clear-cut thing. If you curse, there's certain things where if you curse, if you threaten, if you do something like that, you should be banned. It does carry a ban. But people have been banned or at least had posts deleted that were maybe more questioning or more critical and not so much in the realm
opinions and honest opinions brought forth in a professional and polite manner should not be banned.
Yeah.
I mean,
but what happened with Skyforges? You read that? You read that, right, Gallios? That WW post?
Yes, I did.
So what happened to that? That's my only thing.
And it was professionally worded, and there was no finger pointing. I mean, it was a very well thought out, very well written post, and to find out that it's gone. I can't say who actually did it.
It came forward and said that they didn't remove it themselves. Somebody else removed it.
That I don't know. But
that's also something like, unless
I don't believe you have the ability to delete your own posts on the forums, but I never really spent much time on the forum to test that theory. It could be, but I don't see why anybody would do a probably 2,000 word write-up to delete it themselves. I don't see why that would happen.
Well, there's part of me that's wondering, like, if there was a way, if they removed it themselves, or if ArenaNet was like, hey, there's things in here that we are actually working on right now that we don't want people
talking about.
So we don't have any problem with it.
But why would that be when the accusation on the table right now is that ArenaNet doesn't care about WW, and ArenaNet doesn't care about WW because WW can't be monetized, If I was in that situation, I would want to put that information forward. I mean, you don't have to go into detail. There's this weird thing that happens with a lot of internet content where they act like the fate of the world balances upon this content. And if this content comes out too soon, the world's going to break. You know, it's really silly. But anyway,
Well, I
Go
think
ahead,
it just
Sarah.
goes to. Go ahead, Miko.
I was just going to say, I think it's because they've been burned in the past when information has gotten out there. They haven't been able to live up to their expectations that they created.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, well, if we don't talk about it, you know, we can kind of save that, not have that expectation, but it creates a different problem in that it then seems like they're not being transparent. So it's like they need to find that balance, and they haven't hit it yet.
Well, and for me, devil's advocate, these companies have lawyers. So at what point are the lawyers coming forward and saying, like, don't say anything, just don't say anything, like, oh, this thing, like, we should probably remove it because we've got things in the work that tie into it, so like we can't have this front-facing content that somebody else posted. Like, I've worked at a company that had an issue. They had a product and they were short on the product for people, and people were very upset about, like, well, we want the thing, why didn't you make enough of the thing? And the company was just silent. And they could have very easily said, there was a natural disaster that affected 3 of the 4 plants that helped make a key component for the thing. They didn't say that at all. They were literally, it was radio silence. And whether or not that was the right decision or not, from the fan point, from the company point, from lawyers, like, it wasn't just arbitrary, like, we're not going to talk about it. I'm sure there were discussions and lawyers involved. So, like, I have to wonder, devil's advocate, what is going on behind the scenes that we just don't know about, and that, like, people at ArenaNet are advocating, like, why can't we be more forward, like, put this information out there, like. So I have to wonder, like, there's always stuff going on behind the scenes that we just don't know about.
Yeah,
And
but this is a video game. This is not the X-Files. You know, this is not Narda.
I'd be surprised.
Yeah, but there's still
not giving away
legal
trade
ramifications
secrets.
of things.
Of what?
Yeah.
Of saying, hey, we have something coming for you guys. You guys keep saying that we don't care about WW. This is what's coming. Here's a schedule. This is our planned schedule, and you have to understand.
Right there, I think, is
but you
saying that
have
they
to
don't.
understand that the subject is subject to change. This is our planned schedule as of right now. If the studio blows up, or, you know, you have a natural disaster that closes it down, or a server goes down, or somebody leaves, or something like that, it's going to change. And at that point, the community has to support that. I think just this weird thing. It's
right now,
thing.
Within the past few years, we've been seeing that, like, it's not the majority of gamers. I think the majority of gamers are normal, nice-minded people, but there are the loud few that make it a very toxic place to be, especially as a dev. Like, you miss that deadline and suddenly you're getting death threats, and, like, you're not even on that team. So, like,
yeah, it escalates quickly.
Yeah, so to put any deadlines out there, I'm like, to say we're working on this thing that we're hoping that's going to work, and that we're hoping we're going to get out eventually, like.
Yeah, I mean, I can get all that, and Inks even said that Kora's right, that there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that we don't know about, and we don't need to know about that. All I'm saying is I'm very cautious about responding to anybody on the forums because everybody knows I speak my mind. Whether I'm right or wrong, I will speak my mind. I'll throw on my tin hat and say something.
Ow.
And that's something that I could say. Even something as innocent.
I never noticed this about you.
What are you
even
talking
something
about?
as innocent as, hey, I don't believe you guys, might get me a ban. And I'm not willing to take that risk. And Miko knows I had a little interaction that we'll talk about in a few minutes on Reddit. And I know that if that same interaction went down on the forums, that I would be banned. And and it was something very innocent. It wasn't anything horrible.
Well,
it wasn't a death threat. And that's that. So that's my only concern.
And this again, that part of it goes back to text. Like, things get lost when you're writing, like reading on forums, reading in text, like, you miss the personality of the person who it's coming from. You miss the tone, you miss the deeper context from just the tonality of using your voice. So a lot of things get lost when you just write it down. Like, so it can be problematic.
Well, Romo's
And with
just to
so
jump
many
in quick.
trolls and bad out there, yeah.
Romo's just saying that to be banned from the forums doesn't necessarily mean that you're banned from the game account, but you can be banned from your game account from the forums.
There is a part of me, and this is where I get torn. Like, there's a part of me with all the negativity that has been out there and all the minor vocal few that are total trolls and harassers. There's a part of me that loves that ArenaNet pays such attention to their forums that they're like, this person might be being a jerk. Let's just stop that right here. There's a part of me that appreciates that. There is the other part of me that's like, yeah, but maybe they weren't. Like, Gord says stuff, and like, if you didn't know him, you'd be like, wow, he's being a jerk. And but like, I know Gord, and I'm like, no, that's how Gord talks. Like, he didn't mean it in any sort of, like, he was just like joking, or he was just like frustrated. So
there's
and like,
also,
I have the same thing.
There's also this, and this is all my opinion. I'm noticing that there is this inclination within the community that any type of criticism is negativity, and ArenaNet must be protected from that. And
no, criticism is good for improving your content.
Exactly.
It just,
and well, let's
constructive criticism.
This is kind of bleeding over into the next inclination. I like that. This is bleeding over into the next subject, which I want to touch upon, which is their marketing campaign. So now this is the most debated thing on the internet right now, because as I had said, I was reading a couple threads on Reddit, and they were, if I was working in that environment and I was reading these things, I wouldn't want to hear that. I wouldn't want to be talked to like that. I mean, it's basically, there's a lot of jokes. But that being said, this whole quotes thing, marketing scheme, is a joke. I mean, I'm sorry, but it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I think there's been plenty of good topics, good conversation. Miko had said that there's a lot of conversation that's coming through it. And Mike S., who is the head of global marketing, and he will let you know that he is the head of global marketing, because he likes to say that he is the head of global marketing.
I mean, his Reddit tag
is HOGM, which means head of global marketing.
Yeah.
At any rate, this whole campaign has started to, it's just very confusing. I followed this thread. I watched a lot of snarky comments from yes, Dolvik, the head of global marketing, all over Reddit. Now, I could say to you, some people did deserve it. Some people were just nasty, taking digs or whatever. Some people didn't deserve it so much. I got a little bit of a smart ass answer, but I kind of deserved it. So he put something up, and just reading through a lot of his comments through a bunch of different posts, he's very indignant and he's very snarky, and he doesn't come across as genuine in what he's writing. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and believe that he is, but he kind of took two routes that I wasn't really happy with. One was the haters gonna hate card. He actually threw a meme on somebody's post that said haters gonna hate, which was really kind of silly. And the other thing that I read that I really didn't like was him starting to try to explain how people in the community aren't going to understand how a marketing campaign works and stuff like that. So Mr. Mike S., head of global marketing, I just want to explain to you. If I took a knife, we're going to pretend this is a knife. This is my remote. I'm going to pretend this is a knife. And I'm going to say this knife is dull. And I go like this and it cuts my arm. Am I just going to keep cutting my arm and say that this knife is dull to prove a point? No, I'm going to stop and put the knife down. Your marketing campaign is not working. He said, well, at least from what I see, I can't say it's not working for everybody. At least from what I see on Twitter, For
on Facebook.
every post that comes out with this quote, there's at least 10 tweets right behind it to say, are you still doing this? This is creepy. Stop doing it. There's been several posts. And the head of global marketing now is running around on Reddit defending his marketing program, trying to explain to us that we don't understand how marketing works and haters gonna hate and stuff like that. Go ahead, Miko. I'm sorry.
I was going to say the problem that I have with it is that there are people in the community who work in marketing and understand marketing and have been explaining to others how marketing works. So it's like, don't be dismissive. Don't think that because we don't work with you that we don't know what actually works, what can work, and why things don't work, you know?
Bad press can be good marketing.
Bad press can be good press. Yes, I agree with that.
Because it gets people talking. So there's always that possibility.
I think that, and
Somebody
that seems
said that as well.
Some of the comments that he was basically bringing up in on Reddit, it seems to be like that's the angle that they have taken, which is a bit surprising to me because they keep coming back to this thing that oh well, we're doing this to celebrate our fans, and I'm thinking,
and that was the
but
latest
if you take a quote from Susie Q, fan of Guild Wars 2, I didn't mean to make that rhyme, but hey, you know, and you take it out of context on like what it is that, you know, Susie Q is celebrating or talking about, why would we connect with them? And that is the big problem with this campaign of celebration. I appreciate what their I think effort is, but it's just not, it's not working. And the tone, the constant defense of it is what is really irritating a lot of people, because it's like, no, it's not working. We don't get it. We don't see it as celebration. We see it as just lame.
Did you see any of the accolade videos?
Thank you for the host talking script.
Woo!
Thank you.
Yeah.
Did anybody see the accolade videos?
No.
They're the Path of Fire trailer. The one that I saw was the Path of Fire trailer with the many different gamer tags all over it, and just bouncing so fast, and it was in a really bad font that was hard to read. It was bad, and that's what people are trying to say. And now they're being met with the head of global marketing saying, "I know I'm good.
Yeah,
you don't know how marketing works," and maybe that's not the message he's trying to give.
The thing is
that's
that
how it's coming.
Yeah. The thing is that this campaign, this using player quotes campaign thing, it's not new. They used it back when they did the announcement for Heart of Thorns, that they had a video running and they had Colin of the Smile up there explaining it, giving that context, which is so missing right now. They gave the context, they had the video running with player quotes from Twitter and elsewhere, and it worked because there was context. And it made sense in that moment. It made sense.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think it was more prominent. Not saying that Sugar Cube isn't prominent now. Sugar Cube GW2 is a meme. That's the thing, which showed up for me on Amazon.com as a targeted ad.
Yeah.
You know, and that was the other thing that got me, is he said, you guys have to understand that this is not ad campaign. It's not an ad campaign. Only people that follow us on social media are seeing this, and that's not true. There's plenty of documented cases and screenshots of these things popping up as ads, and if they didn't know that, you can't blame them. But they're not stopping.
I think for me the biggest issue is, yeah, the context is missing, like Miko said, which would make them better. The fact that players have said, like, yeah, we're not getting this and we're finding it offensive is problematic. Like, the company, the marketing team should be like, oh, okay, well, we tried this thing and it's not working. Our audience is clearly letting us know they're actually unhappy with it, so we should immediately stop.
Right.
But it was the timing of it. Like, at the start of 2017, it wouldn't, like, if they did this, it would have just been like, okay, well, that's just a little weird because we're missing the context. But it wouldn't have been so offensive. It was the timing of it right after, and like
Mount
maybe it had already been planned.
Right.
I'm willing to give them that benefit of the doubt. Like they had already had this months long thing planned, and like, okay, well, stuff's going down, but like still roll out with this campaign that we've had planned.
Okay.
However, the timing of it made it
That's
offensive, and then getting those response of like, yeah, this kind of feels like you're rubbing things in, and we're missing the context. Like that's where it's like, okay, well, it would have been maybe a better campaign except for the timing. So again, that's something that
It's
and I mentioned it before. I'm sorry, Gord.
No, that's fine.
I
Go
just
ahead.
want to get this point out. I mentioned it before on another show that we did, that they're sticking with a certain campaign style, which ended up then kind of coming off as being tone deaf, that they weren't seeing the negative reaction. And it just seems like there's a lack of contingency plan. Okay, if this goes off the rails, what can we do to stop the negative, stop and reverse course and make things turn around? It's just lacking. And it's like,
I mean, it almost feels like instead of having, and maybe I'm not a marketing campaign for them, so I don't know. Well, I'm not a person making the marketing campaign. I'm also not a marketing campaign. But like instead of having these random player quotes of like, we love the game, which without the context are making it feel offensive, and the timing is making it feel offensive, like quotes from devs about like why you love the game or like what you are doing to try to improve the game, like that almost might have been better, because then it would be like, okay, here's Susie Q, game tester dev, who's a quote about why she loves the community, or what she personally wants to do to make the game better. Like that would have been a more effective thing on the footsteps of like Mount Gate, and like people are angry because they feel the devs don't care, instead of just throwing, I'm the one that's the care bearer of the team, that term, which I am a care bearer, but like when it gets thrown at me as like an insult, meh. But like this is where I've heard the people talking about like, oh, you're just taking quotes from the care bearers or something.
Well,
like, no, you're taking quotes from people who love the game, but like timing is bad, and like the context, like Miko said, is missing.
Here's a couple things that I want to say. One, as much as we need people like me who are deemed salty or critical of the game, we need care bearers. We need everybody in the community, because that's the best type of conversation, because no one person is right at all, ever. So you need all those perspectives from everyone. The reason why I put the tin hat on is because my theory behind this is, if you watch the evolution of the quotes, it started with gaming magazines and sources of that. Then it went to players that were quoted with their Guild Wars 2 tag, so you knew that they were Guild Wars 2 players. Now it's just like Frosty Hourglass and Sugar Cube and Dolvik's dog, and it's like you don't know where these things are coming from, and that's what makes it weird. The second thing too is that this would be completely fine if it really was just a social media campaign to thank their fans. If this wasn't showing up on pages on, I mean, there was things I was reading, from Flipboard, about Trump and his shenanigans, what's going on in Capitol Hill, and there in the middle of the page is this big quote, and it's like, I'm really concerned for Sugar Cube GW2, because I don't know if he like dropped coffee in his lap, I don't know if he stubbed his toe, I don't know if he fell out of his chair, I don't know if he's happy for the game, I don't know what's going on with this with them.
It's
crazy.
It's a weird post. It's not, I didn't find it humorous. I was really, I thought I was missing something bigger the first time I saw it, and then I realized like, no, this is just it. And I'm missing a lot of context, like Miko said. It comes back to like, context is missing, and now it's getting weird. It's not even like praising the game. It's just, it just feels weird.
I think what the real issue is they are trying to drum up this hype. They're trying to drum up this hype about the game, and they don't have media outlets covering Guild Wars 2. They don't have big YouTubers covering Guild Wars 2 like they used to. They could, if they wanted to do marketing, they could have. Yogscast did their jingle bells or jingle balls or whatever they do. They do a annual thing, and they were giving away Guild Wars 2, Path of Fire, and all this other stuff. And I saw 2 tweets from the team. I mean, they should have been all over that. Maybe I missed some. And I don't want to sound like I'm telling somebody how they should do their job. I really don't. But it's just comparison. It's really bad when, you know, you can remember more of these creepy, silly quotes from people that I don't know and honestly I don't care about. And I know that if my friend who knew nothing about Guild Wars 2 saw, I'd be like, oh well, they liked our game. That's cool. Let's go play WoW. You know. So it's just that's what it comes down to. So.
Yeah.
The long and short of it is that it's quite proven, and I don't understand why the marketing team can say we worked months on putting out this campaign, and we have to roll with it, and you have to wait 6 months to a year down the road to see new stuff that incorporated your feedback because we did this 6 months ago. But Mo can come out as he's the game director and say, we develop content with the mindset that it will never see the light of day. I don't understand that. If you can trash content, if you can trash map assets, if you could trash story, if you could trash whole maps, why can't you trash a marketing campaign that's just not working? That's my only thing on it. And again, I don't want to come across like I'm telling somebody how to do
One thing
their job.
I will add, I know we've got the community team there who are great people and they're doing a great job. Like, I wonder how much they've got their hands in this particular marketing campaign, because I've also worked at places where you had your community team, or we had the community team, and they had nothing to do with marketing campaigns, like absolutely nothing other than being told, here's the link or here's the asset, push it out.
It's all on Reddit.
Is that?
It's all on Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
This Mike has put everything out there.
Okay.
And he did. I can see where he did try to engage in community and talk, and I can understand that if you're in the middle of the shitstorm, that people get on your nerves. I worked retail for a year just recently at Lowe's. I'm a 45-year-old man. I have a full-time professional job where I'm a project manager, and I took an extra weekend job just to pay for projects in my house. I dealt with people who came and basically talked to me like I was a piece of crap. Who talked to me like I was dumb, and not only did I make them change their opinion about me, I made them spend several $1,000s on doors or windows or something else, and that's what I felt good about, you know. And never once did I come off snarky or mean or anything like that, and that's just kind of the experience I'm coming with, you know.
Well, and there is something we said, because I have been in the past accused of being snarky in writing, and like didn't realize it. It was like, oh, okay, well, thank you for telling me that. Now that I know, if I'm giving writing critiques to a friend, I have to make the conscious effort to recognize, like, okay, I tend to be snarky in my feedback, so let's take a step back, let's dial it down, let's even warn them, like, hey, this may come off, like, my feedback may come off snarky. That is not the tone that I'm saying it in. I'm saying
Change
everything.
Your approach.
Yeah.
Change your approach.
Yeah.
When you drop a meme that says haters gonna hate, you know what you're doing.
Yep.
And that every time I see ANET, HOGM, or Mike S, that's what I'm gonna see. Haters gonna hate. And it goes from here to here, through my wall, and out. Peace. See you later.
Freezing cold.
I want to believe the best in everybody, so I'm like.
I just want to. I just also want to say too, it's probably not helping at this point that there's a new Reddit post going up every other day about how bad this campaign stinks.
Yeah.
Let's see what they give us, I guess. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie. All I did is he said something, and I read through all his snarky comments, and he kind of got me a little.
He triggered you.
Yeah, I was a little triggered. So all I wrote was, you can quote me. And he wrote back, it'll release tomorrow, which I think was fair. But my response to him was, look, drop the campaign. I would support, respect, and completely understand 6 months of radio silence. If it's going to take 6 months to put out a new campaign, the game went 3 years with no marketing at all. So I don't see where 6 months is going to change it. It's just me. I think we beat the dead horse.
Yeah. Moving on.
That's it. That's all I got. Any stealth news?
One of the writers that was a recent hire at ArenaNet in the past 6 months is leaving the studio this month. Got a new position at a different game studio, and so they're not going to be there anymore. That's it.
And Kora's going to apply for the job.
Rock on.
You can do it, girly.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see if I meet criteria.
Listen, just make sure you write on your resume, I have nothing to do personally with Gord. He's just
I don't
there.
even like
He's
him.
in the top left corner. I hate his guts. He makes me come on the show. He threatens me.
No.
He called my phone over and over.
He texts me if I'm not here.
For me, working at ArenaNet would be the dream job, but I have to be the right fit. If I'm not the right fit, I don't. As much as I would like them to hire me, I don't want them to hire me if I am not
The right fit.
ready for the position yet.
Mhm.
It's not like it's not like Arena. It's like, well, in a year we're gonna close, so if you want to work for us, this is your last chance. Like, no, ArenaNet's been around for a while. I feel like they're going to be around for a while, and I'm going to be around for a while is my goal. So I'm gonna, keep working, and whether or not, it's ArenaNet, whether or not it's another studio. Oh my God, I
It's
made
third
him
time,
put the
baby.
foil hat back
Oh,
on.
man, here we
I
go.
forgot to say, I was reading
Take that away
through.
from him?
No, this is a good one. I was reading through the description, the job description, and it said that they develop quality games such as Guild Wars 2 and beyond. This is coupled with Mike O'Brien saying he's not focusing on Guild Wars 2 as
Right.
much. Guild Wars Mobile confirmed.
Oh Jesus.
God.
Anyways, so anybody
And the
out there
10-foot
who's
backslide.
listening,
I got to put it
If-
away.
if you like writing, if you like video games, totally apply.
Yeah.
Totally do it. The industry needs more of us out there. So
Well,
Yeah.
if they could use another
Apply to-
smart
apply to all
ass, I'll line up.
I got you beat there, buddy.
apply to all the jobs is what I'm saying. Look at whatever studios are out there, whether or not you think you are ready or not. Apply, make
Yeah.
contacts with people, talk with them,
Get your name
See-
on the door.
get your name. Yes, see what you need to do to grow your skill set and your portfolios, and hopefully we'll all be in the industry making amazing games. That's it for me.
Boom. Yeah, and I do, just to close it out, I don't want to make it seem like I'm beating up on Guild Wars 2 or anything like that. I kind of am, but I think they kind of deserve it in the ways that I'm doing it, but still a great game.
Well, as you've
It's
said
still
before,
amazing.
like, you're critical
Yeah.
because you care. If you didn't care, you wouldn't care enough to be critical.
The game is slowly, well, I'll talk about it in the next segment. It's time. It's time to move on, damn it. See, I wasn't ready again.
Yep.
It's
All
not
right, so with
ready.
that, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And we're back. It was a fast break. Move
I
fast
used to be
now.
able to go get tea and go to the restroom, and now
Now we can't do
Well,
that.
once the music
This is
stops-
still
Yeah.
one of my favorite songs
I love this
of
song.
all of them.
Yeah, this
One
All
of my
right.
favorites.
soundtrack. Awesome.
So this is our 2017 year in review. In keeping with my new trend of being lazy and not really putting much work into the show, I decided instead of breaking everything down in 2017, I wanted all the co-hosts to pick something that stood out for them in 2017 that we could review. So Miko's the only one who's prepared.
I wrote
That
no.
stood out.
Miko thought about it and went, I need to write something. That was earlier in the week, and then 30 minutes before the show, I was like, crap.
something that's like anything.
It could be anything. What
Like-
when you think
Mounts.
of Guild Wars 2 in 2017?
I was about to say mounts.
Well, everybody's gotta pick something different. We gotta make the show interesting. Come on. I mean, I realize that the only cool thing that came out in 2017 was mounts, but we should we should pick other things. All right, so Kora, you're gonna go first, or Miko,
I will go
because
for it.
Miko has notes.
Go for it. Go for it.
Going to Alona. I'm gonna take the lore route and say getting that new section of the map, going back to Alona, which I mean, if we go back several years, you know, to Guild Wars, you know, releasing and them going like, and people going like, when can we go to Alona and Cantha, and then being like, I don't know, never, you're not planning it. Like I knew we would get there someday, at least to Alona. So finally getting back in there and seeing that land and getting continuations of characters that we knew and loved from the Nightfall campaign, and you know, seeing what happened to them for good or bad has been really cool.
Nice.
I agree.
Now you realize we've we have only been in a slither of Alona. Most of what we got in Path of Fire was
Just that
Crystal
tippy-top.
Desert, which was at one point part of Alona. It's the border of Alona and
I know.
Tyria.
Well, it's the start of it though. It's opened it up. We can
it's where
go
we're going
further now.
in the next living story for however many chapters we get from it. So let me ask you, Kora, since you brought up Alona, when do you think the next expansion is going to be? What year is it going to release?
You mean like full expansion, like Path of Fire, Heart of
Path
Thorns?
of Fire, the next Path of Fire.
Oh, 2 years?
So you're saying 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm thinking 2 years. I don't see that, like, I don't see it coming out at the end of this year. I don't see that being enough time to do a quality expansion. I would like, I'm sure they've started the process. They're working on it.
Oh yeah.
But I see minimum 2 years. Pushing beyond that, going 3 years, we're starting to get a little long. You know, I mean, as long as the living story is still happening, we're still getting content. That's great. But like, people are really going to be pushing for like, well, where's the next big expansion? Where are the next literal game-changing mechanics? So I would say
that's
2
another
years.
good question.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So Kora got picked on for the first one. So 2 years for the expansion. So Miko, what's the setting?
The setting for the next expansion?
Mm-hmm. That's pretty easy. Yeah, it's pretty easy. Okay, so then what's the next? What is the next gem store stuffing feature that's coming in the next expansion?
Crap. I have no idea. Because I didn't believe the leaks about mounts. I was like, nope, I don't want to see mounts in Guild Wars 2. And I was like, and then it came and I was like, oh, damn. So I've got no clue.
No clue?
Yeah.
And then you like the mounts.
Gallios, you want to weigh in on it?
It just.
What do you think the next thing's gonna be? So we got gliders in Heart of Thorns. We got mounts in Path of Fire. So we're gonna say
underwater.
The Belly of Steve in Cantha. That's the name of the expansion. I'm calling it now. BOS. Is the next expansion? What are we getting with it?
What are we getting with the next expansion?
Underwater.
We kind of talked about this. Boats was a popular thing. Fishing is Alaska winter is same fishing.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do fishing. I don't think they'll do fishing. They may do boats, but I don't think they'll do fishing.
No, you don't want any kind of zinger in there? Anything to flip the script? Anything controversial?
When do I do controversial? My brain doesn't think that far in advance. What are you talking about?
Underwater mount. We're gonna get an underwater mount, and that's gonna be it.
You know,
so that's another good
question.
Do mounts continue in the next expansion?
Yes, absolutely.
It could just
I think
be
they do.
5 new underwater mounts, and they've each got their special underwater abilities.
Do we get
I see
submarines?
housing. I see boats.
Housing.
Boats is a hard sell for inks. Fishing and fishing rods in the jump.
Submarines
I agree with Bruno. That's a good one.
Submarines actually is a good thought, because if you're going to be doing combat underwater, you may want to have something a little more destructive than a bow and arrow, or a harpoon gun, I should say, a harpoon
or a
gun
spear.
and a spear to fight off, Steve Bubbles. So maybe submarines actually might.
And
be
there's
a
that
really
whole,
good
like, as you go deeper, like the water pressure and compression, like, you don't want your character getting the bends. That's going to be
Right.
terrible.
I'm honestly thinking
They'll
that,
find some
although
magical way
yeah.
not to get the bends.
although I think
Yeah.
that Steve McBubbles will somehow be the next dragon on the docket, in the background or however you want to call it, I don't see it being an underwater heavy expansion. I
Do you
think
think they're
that
gonna go
most of it's
dragon
going to be on the ground. I think we'll find out that the Chak and the
on the
Kark
coast.
I think the Chak and the Kark are Steve's minions. The thing about Steve is that everything about Steve McBubbles is secret. And
Let's flip the script, and Steve is a good dragon, and that's why Steve's been staying out of it.
Yeah.
Maybe Steve is good. Steve's a good dragon. Steve the friendly dragon.
Casper the friendly
dragon
No.
lived in the sea.
no. No. No Quaggins are totally. Quaggins. Alaska Winter says Quaggins are Steve McBubbles. And
See?
so
You can't be a bad dragon if Quaggins are your minions.
Quaggins are the most evil
Quaggins
creatures in
can go-
Syria.
Quaggins can go kind of nutty.
They
Yeah.
I
can,
was gonna
but
say,
like,
you ever seen one of them sounded guns get pissed off?
Yeah.
but they're like
Jeez.
mostly nice.
They're gonna have to like find a way to like work a Quaggan Choya thing for underwater if they were to go Steve McBubbles route. So what, like
I don't.
what? Shrimp?
I don't see us killing.
Lobsters?
My only issue is I don't see us killing Krakatorek. I don't know what Krakatorik's doing. He's in some Zen state, sitting cross-legged on a mountain
We're gonna
meditating
purify him.
while
We're gonna make
Corey
him a friendly
is
dragon.
making out at the foot of the
We're gonna make
mountain
all
or
of them
whatever.
friendly dragons.
No,
Well, isn't that the
God.
idea, right, with Aureen? Right? They're
All right,
supposed to like
this
everybody
is
like the
this is
Zen
very
balance.
uncomfortable for me. I
The
don't like
Largos.
this. I don't like this conversation. So Gallios, what
I've
when you
succeeded
say
in making Gord uncomfortable.
when you
I
say
have
Guild Wars
achieved my
2,
goal
should-
for 2018.
I can't hear you anymore. When you hear 2017 and Guild Wars 2 in 2017, what's it make you think?
Well, the things that stand out for me, of course, I play a lot of World v World, so a lot of the things that stand out to me was gliding that was introduced in World v World, which kind of changes the dynamic in your areas of the map. You can defend faster, et cetera, et cetera. So that was one of the things I actually enjoyed that they put into World v World, because I remember all the laughs that ensued every time when they first introduced gliding in the game period, and we would do our World v World nights. Everybody would jump off the cliff expecting to be able to glide, and we couldn't glide and smash. So introducing that was pretty cool. I remember that. There was something else I was thinking about, and all the conversation since then has made me forget.
Well, how do you feel about the PIP system, the whole WW revamp to the rewards system?
I like the PIP system to give some rewards, because before there wasn't really anything unless you did seasons. And seasons was the only time you could ever get anything worth having. Like the Mistforged weapons were really cool. And I actually bought a couple back when they were doing seasons. But I like the PIP system. I've gotten more armor and more weapons through the PIP system than I ever did in World v World. So that's kind of nice. Saves you a little bit of having to grind out PvE, which I'm not a big fan of. I do it with my friends, but I'm not a big PvE grinder. I read the story as I go, and I'm happy with it. I'm trying to think, there were other things that were added that I really liked, and that I just totally completely lost my train of thought. Shit.
Talking about wings.
All right, so does anybody, Kora or Miko, do you guys have anything you want to add to WW? Anything you want to talk about? Kora, you're okay if you don't.
I want them to make it easier for the commander spoon to drop for people who don't
I still
already
can't-
have it.
I still
You
can't
know
believe
what's
you haven't
crazy?
gotten
I
it
haven't
yet.
gotten a drop in a long time.
Don't
They nerfed
say
the
that.
drop.
They must have nerfed
the
it, because I haven't gotten one in a long time. I used to get one every other night.
Don't like saying I don't do the thing.
Okay, if I don't have, I don't do the thing, and that's part of the problem. if I don't have the Commander Spoon by the start of 2019, and you guys can remind me of this, I will show up at ArenaNet's door with like cookies and cheesecakes and like a pleading sign of like will bake for Commander Spoon, like because it's getting a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Listen,
need to
if
do the
you
thing
you
more
need to
often, but,
just
like,
you just need to find a 50-man map blob, get in the middle of it, stay just behind the frontliners with a grenade kit on your NG, and just toss grenades everywhere.
It's all
It's
about
just
tagging.
tagging. You just have to
All
do a
about
couple
tagging.
hundred HP damage, and you'll start getting more drops, more bags. With those bags come your Commander Spoon.
Yeah, it's not World v World. You have to look at World v World differently than you look at PvE, differently than you look at raids, and differently than you look at PvP. And the reason why I say that is it's all about how many people you can damage, not necessarily kill yourself.
Well, they have to die.
Yeah.
So
well, it's
Yeah.
more like the labyrinth.
they have to die,
Halloween.
but you just have to add to the death. You don't
Yeah.
have to be.
It's like the labyrinth at
one-
Halloween, which I love doing. Like you just
Yeah, it's a
go in
lot
there
like
and
that. If you go in with that mentality where basically you're just blasting wide, you're adding to the collective destruction. That's where you get it from. And
That's all
spam
it
the
is.
hell out of one.
Yeah. Just your
Spam
grenade
the hell out
kit,
of one.
auto attack, and just throw it everywhere.
Okay, so here, when I finally get that Commander Spoon, I'm going to commission somebody to do me like a nice portrait of my character, just holding a little spoon, like a regal, like Regency era portrait,
There you go.
just holding a spoon,
Okay,
and that'll
Miko.
be my new avatar.
Oh,
There you go. Miko, you have anything for WW?
No,
No?
I don't go in enough.
That's okay. I'm just trying to give it.
I did have something else. It was outside of World v World. I
'Cause,
did have
well,
something else.
It's just, of course, Gallios goes with WW, and, there's only half the panel plays WW, but it's okay.
Well, I like the pit system that he mentioned
all right.
because it did feel more rewarding when I went in a couple of months
Yeah.
ago to get my
I've
gift
got to
battle.
go on Darkhaven and run with you for a little while, just to
know,
show you
it's
the craziness
fun.
that is me.
fun. I like what I can like tag around with like little groups or follow a commander and wreak havoc. That's fun.
Yeah,
It's just
Yeah.
I tend to
Well, that's
not
World
have
v World.
populated maps.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that's World v World. You just have to do that all the time, or get really good at roaming if you don't like running in groups. But anyway, I did have something else that does stand out for me. The 2017 was the abundance of quality of life improvements. I did like that. There were a lot of quality of life improvements this year that were favorable. And I was hoping to get one more before the end of the year, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. But
Well,
yeah, the quality
seems
of
how
life
it's the new year.
improvements. Yeah, well, so quality of life improvements was another thing. The stacking, getting rid of, making a keychain, key ring, I should say, whatever you want to call it. But a lot of the quality of life improvements were good this year. That kind of sticks out to me as well. I'd love to say that Path of Fire was great for something that just stuck out, but it just it just felt like it was just another expansion. So I feel like that would just be not necessarily a thing that just stuck out, but I did enjoy a lot of the quality of life stuff because it solved a lot of my problems,
I like
especially
seeing
with
the
my
new
parties.
legendaries coming in.
Mm.
Are we still missing legendaries? Like what?
Oh,
how
we're
many?
missing a whole
Which
bunch
ones
of
do they have to
legendaries.
do?
A bunch. A
Oh.
bunch.
Maybe they'll finish them this year.
Yeah, maybe in 3-4
Maybe.
more years. Who knows? Miko, what did you have? Look at
go
that
pick-
face, you.
Picking up on what Gallios mentioned about Path of Fire, I think the storytelling was one thing that kind of stood out for good and bad reasons in 2017. Because they started off season 3 in 2017, and it felt like they were, the storytelling had, grown, and then they started kind of going in all directions, and it became like, well, what's the story that they're trying to tell here, with these multiple threads coming in from everywhere. There was a lot of fan service, I think, with to Guild Wars 1 players, which was nice. But with Path of Fire, I felt like they really got their story act together and focusing their characters, focusing the plot of the story, reducing the cast of characters so that they could have a nice tight story.
Well, and I think that speaks to the writing team that they have now.
Absolutely.
So
Well, we did
makes
pick
me
up
really
the put out the point. I think either Miko or Kora put out the point that they weren't full staff
Yep.
with season 3, which does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at it and people could say like, oh, that it's not enough content. You know, why is it that hard for you? Writing is hard.
Yes.
Writing is hard, and it takes time, and you know, drafting it out, especially working on a team. Like working solo is hard enough when like you're just arguing with yourself on what should happen. When you're working with a team, and like you've got the bosses telling you like we need it to go in this direction, and then you write it that way, and then they come back and go, actually,
that didn't work.
Yeah. Writing is hard.
It's amazing to me though. It's super amazing to me that there are so many games and so many MMOs that have the same style writing and same story to drive out, and it doesn't appear to be as hard for them as it does for ArenaNet. And I don't know why that is, and I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying that it's hard card comes up way too much. And let's be honest here, this is not the only MMO, but this is not the only MMO in the market. And this is the only MMO that's like, well, you know, advertising's hard. You know, writing's hard. Armor's hard. New content's hard. You know, you hear it all the time.
Maybe that speaks to them actually saying that, yeah, it is hard, and the other studios feel that it's hard, but don't say it. Like, maybe they should stop saying it and just.
It's not that they don't say it; they do it. Some games you can tell that game sucks. You know, you can come right out and say it. MMOs are a saturated market. Period. There's many MMOs out there now, and for that, it's hard to come up a lot. That irks me to no end, just because ArenaNet and Guild Wars 2 is not the only MMO out there, and there's other MMOs that are doing it.
Well, I think the fact that we've got this new writing team that has already started to show with Path of Fire that they've got it, that they've got new new people at the top of the writing team, of the narrative team, people who have put some really good games out there in the past that they brought on to be the writers, I think speaks to like hopefully that, oh, it's hard mentality, like that Gord, it drives him crazy. We'll be seeing a lot less of that because they like the team that's there knows it's hard, but they're passionate about it and they love it and they care about making this game amazing. So I'm really encouraged by what I think is going to be coming, the quality of what is going to be coming from them.
Well, the quality is there. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of quality that's been coming out. I thought that Path of Fire was highly polished, good story. I didn't like everything that came through, and I don't like some of the directions that they took, and I don't like how they took a shortcut ending to a lot of the storylines with Ritlock, you know, and the Revenant and stuff like that. But it's still good, highly polished writing at a consistent rate. Every 2 months you have that living story come out, and people scream, "Oh, Gord, you're stupid. I can beat it in an hour." Yeah, I could beat it in an hour too, but that doesn't change the fact that it's highly polished. What would you rather have? Would you rather have a mess like season 1 or a highly polished piece of content? I'd rather have the highly polished piece of content. So that I'm
which we've
with.
said since day one,
but
as a podcast.
As always, I have to say, if a 30-second teaser trailer is going to spoil your story, you do not have enough depth in your story. And what they have done is they have put blinders on their players. What it started being is each of the races had their own personal conflict going on, in line with a kind of global conflict in the Elder Dragons and dungeons and everything else that was going on. And now it's just like, this is a story. Look here, don't look over there. Look right here. That's where the story is. Nothing else is to the left or right. It's just straight in front of you. And that's what's making a good trailer hard, because there's just not enough depth in each story to put out a good teaser trailer that would bring somebody new into the game. In my opinion.
I think there is. I think it hasn't been shown the best. And like whoever's making the trailers is doing the best that they can. Maybe it's the direction that they're getting. Maybe they don't have the vision that is needed to give what I think a lot of people like us want. But I worked with somebody before who made trailers for a game, and I saw what he could pull off in, a 20-second trailer. So I think it's possible, but I think we just haven't seen it yet. And I think once we do see it, we're gonna like Gord's gonna be like, "Wow, this is what we were waiting for."
I'll say, to be fair, the trailer for Daybreak was much better than any trailer that we got of NPCs auto attacking the camera that we got for season 3.
Yeah,
and Path of Fire was a little bit better too, but it makes me think of the statement that they were putting out during the AMA where, we walk the line of spoiling and showing off new content. And that's because you don't have enough depth in your story, and that should be assessed. And maybe that's coming down the pipe, like we're saying now, and it doesn't take away from the fact that the content that's coming out is highly polished.
Yeah.
It's just...
I think that I'm still going to say, I think that the content is there. It's just not being shown to the best in the trailers. And I'm not sure who's behind those trailers, or like if they're being given like, hey, here's the cutscenes we want you to use, show from here, or if they're pulling it themselves and not making the best choices. I'm not sure where.
Yeah, we'll see what the next one brings.
Not
this might
failure,
be
but like where it's not coming together.
That might be a dead point, honestly, because like I said, Daybreak's trailer was good, and I feel like we always have to wait with Guild Wars 2. We have to wait for the next thing to see if it's going to be better than what we already had. And that's been true for a long time.
I feel like that's been true. That's true with everything, though. Like, I read books, and I'm always waiting to, like, the next book in the series, is it going to be better than the one I just read? Oh, or the one I just read wasn't as good as the first one. Is the next one going to be better or like first?
I watched 2 shorts from Overwatch. I watched Reinhardt short, and I watched my short. And I bought Overwatch.
They've been consistently great.
I watched the CG trailer for Battle for Azeroth. I subbed for 3 months. I bought Legion. I'm going to pre-order Battle for Azeroth. And I'm probably going to sub again for another 3 months on that 1 minute and a half long CGI trailer. That's all it takes. You can do it.
This is true.
So... And again, we have to wait and we have to see, because that Daybreak trailer was on point. Let's see what the next chapter brings. Let's see what that chapter.
Like I said, I think based on what we were seeing, they've been doing a lot of good things. I think they needed that direction. That I think that based on Path of Fire, based on Daybreak, that I think they finally got. Whoever is making those creative decisions, whoever's holding the steering wheel and guiding. I was going to say holding the steering wheel and guiding the ship. I don't think those two metaphors go together. I think things are finally... they kind of almost fit. It has me very hopeful that the next trailer is also going to be good, because they've got the right person saying, here's the story that we need shown. And not like the whole story of the chapter, but like, here is the story we want to tell with this trailer. Here's how we need to make it happen. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful, and I'm really excited to see.
I think what they really have to do is they have to get out of the mentality of protecting the content because they want everybody to be so surprised, when there's really not that much that's going to surprise. There's really not. Daybreak, again, was a very good living story chapter. We all gave it an 8 for the story and a 10 for the map. It was very good. I enjoyed it. The teaser trailer was much better, and really all we got really new was a one line and Aurene coming into the screen, which was cool. But I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
Anyways.
Anyway, Miko, what else did you have? Now that we
I had-
hijacked you.
I had mounts, because
Oh,
they're
mounts.
We all
they're
had
fun
mounts.
and zippy and cute and have personality, and they make map completing a little bit better, and they make getting into combat
They made the
kinda
game better.
interesting. Yeah.
They definitely made the game better. It
Yeah.
was definitely one of the highlights for 2017 for me.
Mhm.
It was an awesome mechanic to bring in, and that each one feels unique.
Yep.
And like you get to learn like how the raptor is better than the jackal, and how the jackal is better than the raptor, and why you should never fly your pancake over land.
Yep.
So
Or how you need to readjust your bunny goat thing so that you
Mhm.
don't not get knocked off
so
or
it
knocked in
doesn't
the head by an inch of
catapult
wood.
you forward off a ledge
Yes.
Yeah.
during a cutscene.
During a
Yeah.
cutscene for a Vista. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Yeah.
So mounts. Anybody else want to say anything else about mounts? I
Mm-mm.
kind of tripped you guys up. I got to think of something for Miko. What do you think? Where do you think we're going for the next Living Story chapter?
I think we're still chasing Aureen, aren't we? Isn't that where we're
Aureen
going?
is kind of tag teaming with us. We're kind of Joko is. We found out that Joko is attacking Tyria and weaponizing the Scarab Plague.
Oh, right. 'cause he-
Joko.
yeah,
Joko in quotes.
Joko
Yes,
in
exactly.
quotes. So that's right, because there was that red lady who was there, and that in that
Oh.
final thingy, in the final instance. That's
Yeah.
what it's called.
So
My
we-
gosh, this was not long ago, and it feels like so long ago for me right now.
It's because it was the
Right.
holiday season, and like
Yes.
that sort of like meh is all of
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. So I think I have a feeling we're going to find out that that lady is actually Lissa. I think we're gonna. I think Lissa's coming back.
What,
That
what
would
I
be
think we're
lady
really
is
not
that?
done with the gods, because they've shown that the dragons, or they've actually said it, that the dragons are not tangible enough, and
I thought that the red
characters
lady.
don't connect with that.
Yeah, Alaska Winter said it. I thought that the red lady was for the raid, and she was exposed in the raid.
Yes, but the second one that they've shown in
The
was also
fog?
it was kind of like it was in the last instance where you're having to save Aureen. There is an unknown lady who comes in, and she's kind of reddish.
We need to play this again.
Yeah.
We all should just live
Yeah.
stream and play it together.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure
Dale's
there is
saying
a,
there's
there is a
definitely a red
different
lady.
red lady, so yes.
I
So
think it
not
would be
just
really
Mina,
cool.
but
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's Lissa.
I think that would be
I-
cool because Lissa
Hmm.
was the important god
For Balthazar,
for
got
Alona.
and
Yeah.
she's the only one that Balthazar didn't curse.
Yes. Well, and I was
And
just saying, but for the country of Alona, Lissa was the primary god. There's the festival of Liss that happens in Alona. So like, if there's more with the gods, that would be cool. So
Yeah, they was saying there's a cinematic and an actual model in the last instance if you're quick enough to see it.
I saw it on Reddit because people posted screen caps, but I missed it when I played through it.
Yeah, I missed it too.
that's what I'm saying. We need to replay and like know where we're
So-
supposed to be looking. That way we can
so-
all freak out together.
So the
Once I'm
gods
set up
left.
across the country. I'll get to replay again.
The gods left Tyria. They left the
Yeah.
realm of Tyria and the mist. Balthazar has already been replaced. Why would
Replaced by who?
well we
Which
don't
we
know
never found
that.
that
We'll
out.
find that out in the mobile game. But anyway, why would Lissa come back?
Why not?
Why not?
Because they
I don't
left.
know. Right. Even Lissa left is what Cormier said she left.
They all
right?
left, yeah.
The gods left, and Joko is back.
Yeah. They need to
There's a lot of
give
this
him a reason to
happening.
come back. Yeah, there's a lot of air quotes too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not believing the whole, we're leaving Chow.
So
Yeah.
Alaska Winter we discussed this before. Some people could correct me, but in Path of Fire, when Ritlock corrected Cormier and said 5 now when she was talking about the 6 gods, and she said no 6.
Yep.
So I
So
took that
Balthazar-
as Balthazar was replaced.
Yeah, me too.
So
I missed
that's
that.
what we're working on. That was in the whole thing. I think that's
The
on
pretty
YouTube.
library.
Yeah,
Probably.
that instance is on YouTube. So so that's it for Miko. Anybody have anything you want to add? Mounts? Do
No.
they give you the feels?
I mean,
The mounts did give the feels, especially the
I love the
personality.
Raptor. Yeah,
Dale's
I love
saying
the
he's
Raptor
still
that
waiting
he
to
shakes
ride
you
his
off.
Raptor with his Revenant inclined stance.
Griffin.
Yeah.
I love my Griffin. My little Griffin baby. I love flying her.
I
like
don't
the
have
jackal
one, yeah.
howls. I don't have my Griffin either. I'm way behind you, Gallios. You're like so much farther ahead of me now.
We'll work on
I
getting you
did all
both
of the
Griffins.
look. The hardest achievement, the hardest thing to do is that one where you gotta take the jack. You're supposed to take the jackal up into the deal, and they have these gin
Mm-hmm.
up there. If you get seen, you're screwed. So you have to be really,
Yeah.
really fast. Or there's another way to get to it. So when you get to that point and you realize you're stuck, let me know, and I'll
Okay.
come and show you a better way.
All right.
Or the third way is you get yourself a Tankin, and he gets to the location, and you use your teleport to friend, and you just teleport to Tankin.
There's actually a way to go to it without taking the jackal. You can actually ride a griffin from all the way clear across the map
That's what I
and
Mhm.
land on the
Nice.
That's
on
what
the
I did.
pillar.
Yeah.
I
flew
have a
That's what I
feeling-
had to do.
Yeah.
That I
But
did that.
it's a long flight, and it doesn't look like you're going to make it. In fact, you're actually higher than you should be, so you've got to do all the swooping and the gliding thing.
You gotta kind of swoop and everything else.
Yeah.
All right, so to bring it
Yeah.
on home, 2017 for me, as far as Guild Wars 2 goes, will always represent a double-edged sword. For the first 5 years of the game, for the first 3 years especially, I complained that the game needed a direction. It needed some place to go. It needed to stop trying all these different ideas and throwing poop against the wall, seeing what would stick, and having so many failures come out in game and so on and so forth. And they finally did it. But to my
And you're
chagrin,
not happy.
no. What I'm not happy about is, to my chagrin, they didn't embrace a direction. They embraced games as a service billing model with these microtransactions supporting and so on and so forth, causing Mount Gate, which everybody should still remember what Mount Gate was, and everything else. I'm not trying to throw hate on ANET. They picked a direction, and that's all I've ever wanted them to do with this game.
Mhm.
Because in 2007, when Island North came out, at no point did I think I would have to wait 5 years to get into Guild Wars 2. We all knew Guild Wars 2 was coming. We went 3 years without hearing anything from the Guild Wars 2 team. And then Miko had just brought it up today that Kit, I believe it was, Kit the Traveler, posted the 2010 Gamescom Shatterer fight, which was the very first actual in-game content that we saw of Guild Wars 2. And it was awesome. But at no point did I think that we would wait 5 years to actually set foot into Guild Wars 2. And then on top of that, when I first stepped foot in Guild Wars 2 in 2012, I never thought that after 5 years we would just be getting into Alona, knowing that Kanta's
Yeah.
out there and everything else. So that was the one thing that always kind of nagged at me. Now they've picked a direction. They have a story direction and everything else, but the things that go along with it is an automation of SPVP and basically an abandonment of the game mode, as well as with WDW. We got our one annual update, and it seems like that's all we're going to get for 2017. And everything is being dumped into PvE. As far as I could tell, that's where most of the development is, because that's where most of the dollars can be extracted. So it's a double-edged sword to me. Really, honestly.
Mhm.
Everybody's just looking at me. I feel very awkward right now.
I'm sorry, I'm chatting.
Gallios isn't listening again. So, Miko,
Well,
how do
you
you feel
know.
about that?
I mean, I think you've got a point. I don't like what happened with the whole Mount Gate thing. I know that they have to make money to keep funding the content that we want to keep playing. I think that they've just been mishandling their communications, which isn't really new for them.
No, it's not. That's
Sadly.
always been a thing.
Yeah.
My problem is and I agree they have to make money, but I feel like every problem that they have right now in making money is their fault. They brought in they did things very particularly. They gave away core vanilla in order to have the free to play aspect to get, to lubricate your wallet and your dollar bills a little bit. Then on top of that, they purposely underpriced their expansion, because maybe if you put out a $50 expansion, maybe a lot of people from Heart of Thorns wouldn't have came back to it. But I really do feel like that when people from Heart of Thorns who really still were interested in the game and liked the game saw what Path of Fire brought, they would have come back and they would have paid $50 for it. The pricing model that they did worked for me still. You could still you still had to buy Heart of Thorns separately. I tip my hat to them for that. But I feel like they purposely undersold their expansion, their box expansion, which to me would be a guaranteed sale, in order to overprice their mount skins to possibly get a sale. And it's because they're chasing dollar bills. Their marketing research probably shows, just like every other game company out there, ArenaNet's not the only guilty party. Every game company there is not trying to make money to survive or to keep the doors open or keep the lights on. They're trying to make Scrooge McDuck money. And that's the way they do it, is through these microtransactions. And I absolutely hate it. And I hate that ArenaNet went that direction, because I just feel like it was like a really classy person who decided to do a really sleazy thing, in my opinion. That's how it feels to me.
Yeah, that goes back to the reaction that we had a couple of shows ago when we were saying we were just disappointed that they made that decision to go in that direction.
Well, I mean, that's capitalism. The goal of capitalism is to make as much money as you can, to hoard all the gold. That's capitalism. And it didn't, previously we were like, okay, we felt like, okay, you're just embraced of like, let's make enough money and let's make a good game. And then it was the disappointment of, okay, now it feels like they've bought into the capitalism, make all the money, and how do we make more money? And this goes back to me, like, I believe the best in people and want to believe the best in the people at ArenaNet and the people making the decisions. And I'm hopeful that like that's not where they were coming from, and that they're trying new things, and the industry as a whole has moved towards microtransactions. So I was hoping they wouldn't, but wasn't surprised that they did. And the industry as a whole moved to loot boxes. And again, I was hoping that they wouldn't, and they have. And this is just where the industry is at. So I wasn't shocked that they decided to do these things or try these things. I was disappointed, but like, what's the next industry trend? What are the laws that are going to come out deciding like, are loot boxes gambling or not? Does that mean that the rating of the game has to then go up? Because if their law passes that says loot boxes are gambling, and if you have gambling in your game, it has to be rated R, a lot of games immediately are going to say, get those loot boxes out.
Yep.
But they'll try something else. And I just want to point out,
Of course they will.
I'm not going to say your name in chat, but don't refer to them as MTX. That is an industry plan in order to take away the dirty and just grungy feeling of microtransactions. They are microtransactions. MTX is a banker's term. And that's what the issue with the whole gaming industry is that a bunch of bankers saw how much money was being thrown around in the gaming world and decided they wanted their piece of the pie. And nobody in the devs don't win because of that. Us players don't win. I could say beyond a shadow of a doubt that there has been content, there has been quality of life things that Gallios had kind of put out in his stuff that were held purposely because it would take away from gem shop sales. And at least I can't say that I could say that definitely, but I could say I feel that way. And it starts to breed this mistrust and malcontent in the community, in your consumer base. And this again is with all games. Games as a service does not work. It's doesn't win for everybody. If I pay money for a game, that's my game. But if you read your user agreement, the TOS for Guild Wars 2, the very first line says you're paying to play their game. They own the game. So if they decide, if Michael Bryan's listening to me right now and says, I don't like what that guy's saying, I'm revoking his privilege to play the game. Doesn't matter how much he paid. That's how it goes, and it's just not right. It's a bad system, and it hurts my heart because I've always held ArenaNet as a studio in a higher regard than that, and I don't feel they had to take that route.
I could understand some of the moves for microtransactions to help pay for the game. I can kind of get that, but what would make me feel comfortable about it is if I knew it was being shared, one, with the employees. Are they getting raises? Or two, that they're expanding the studio. Are we hiring more developers? Are we hiring more writers? Are we hiring, not refilling spots and getting a higher paid guy doesn't necessarily, getting higher paid doesn't mean you're getting better. I would like to see them, if things are quote unquote, one of Gord's favorite things to say, too hard, if things are too hard because there's not enough people, use the microtransactions that you're introducing to hire more people to increase the studio. I'm okay with that kind of stuff. If you're doing it just to improve your profit margin so that the guy that's sitting on the throne gets more money and it's hurting everyone else under him, I don't like that.
When you're saying
I do not like it.
When you're saying that people need to buy these gem shop items at 2,000 gems, $25 a piece, to support the free Living World content that they're giving you as a benefit of the game, but then in another interview will say, we develop content with the idea that it will never make it out the door. That's an example of bad budgeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why it's a double-edged sword for me, because I'm very happy that they picked a direction, and we're going to see good story. We're going to see advancement through the game world, and possibly, hopefully one day, reach new areas that we've never seen before in Guild Wars 2, like substantial. We've had some slithers of maps here and there that we've never been in any game except for Guild Wars 2. But I want to see the far Shiver Peaks again. I want to see the Flame Legion homeland in Guild Wars 2, and maybe someday we'll get there because they picked that decision. But there's the other half of it, and that's what 2017 is to me.
Well,
it kind of closed on that note, which is the sad
we can
thing.
only go up from here.
I don't think we went down, really. It's just a
Mount Gate kind of coming at the tail end of the year was not good, I think.
It
and
ended
then followed by the marketing campaign of
the feeling is that it ended on a feeling of like a little bit of a downer, but like the quality of the content has been going up. So like we've got this weird
disconnect.
Yeah. And fingers crossed, it's 2018, let's give them a little bit of everything a clean slate, like them, the community, us, and like, let's see what comes out. Let's see how they move forward. Let's see how the community moves forward. And like I said, and
that has been a theme on any content creator, any podcast outside of Shadow of the Dragon since 2012. Let's see what comes next. Let's see what ArenaNet brings us next.
Let's see what's next.
And
I think that's game development.
Yeah, I mean that's everything. But the fact that we can still say, well, let's see what comes next, speaks to we still love this game, and this game is still doing something right. Because otherwise, we'd be like, hey, this is our last show, y'all, because we're not playing anymore. We're done, and none of us are there.
No.
It's very possible that when Battle for Azeroth comes out, that I will no longer play Guild Wars 2. It's possible. I am enjoying World of Warcraft right now.
I mean, we lost a lot of people to Black Desert Online,
which is also
going
mobile. BDO is releasing a mobile game just like Lineage. Lineage blew the hell up, $409 million American in 3 months.
It was nuts.
Because it's the only true MMO in that game space on a mobile platform. Now with BDO going after it, I'm telling you, Guild Wars 2 is right on its trail. And that's where the 6 are, in the mobile game. and it's going to be fully microtransaction. And you know what? If they do release a mobile game and it supports Guild Wars 2 to the point where they're like, screw it, we're just going to give everything away. You guys can play whatever you want. Just buy the box expansions. We don't care because we're rolling in Scrooge McDuck money from the mobile game. I'm all for it, you know. But again, we have to
said
wait and see.
Shadow of the Azeroth podcast confirmed.
I mean, maybe it's just they could just do like the Guild Wars mobile Fashion Wars app, and it's just like dress up dolls. Like, do you remember, like Miko? Did you remember the paper dolls? Every girl gets the paper dolls, and they have the different outfits, and like the microtransactions are us just like earning the different outfits to dress up our Guild Wars.
We've already got Fashion Wars, right?
Right. I'm totally
doing
down for that mobile app. Fashion Wars app. Yeah, let's make it happen. I'll, drop you $25 a month so that I can get new outfits for my character on my mobile app.
I mean, hey, you know what? I know I criticize the game a lot, and it's only because I have such a love for the game. This game has been a part of my life since 2005. I've played this game, and I will still continue to play this game whether I'm logging in once a week or I'm logging in every day. It's just, we'll see where it goes, I guess. I mean, again, this is what we're always saying. I want to see Cantha. I'm tired of waiting for Cantha. It's been a long time.
I don't want Cantha on mobile though.
I don't want Cantha on mobile. No, I have a feeling that's going to be a brand new game. It's going to be a brand new game, a brand new platform, and what's going to tie it to this world is the 6 human gods. It's going to be human-centric, Fashion Wars heavy, and it's going to be on a totally different planet.
And it's going to feature Steve, the friendly dragon.
Nope.
I want it with Gallios' theme song right there.
Yeah.
That's the character select screen.
I give up. I don't care what they do. I just want to get into the Flame Legion. I like having a more, humanly realistic boss. I'm not saying that I don't, but the dragons, you don't understand, since 2007,
Steve,
since the first no, it cannot
into like
be.
A humanoid
Steve
with a
needs
tail
to eat
and
the
wings,
world.
like Largos
No.
wings, but it's Steve, the friendly
That's
dragon.
it right there, little Argos.
No, we're gonna
They're
move on from there because I
dragons in
can't. It hurts my
disguise.
soul. I can't
This is
listen
why
to you.
Traherne was with them.
I can't listen to you, Kora. I love you, but I can't listen to you. I just can't. I can't. All right. So, anything anybody else want to add for 2017? Hey, welcome, One Big Pair. Hey, Largo.
I feel like I just need to like get Gord's phone number and just like randomly call him and like start singing Steve the Friendly Dragon's theme song.
Oh, you want my digits? I'll give you my number. Anyway, anything else for 2017? Anything from chat
We
for
just like group call
2017?
him and we all start singing a cappella.
I think that's it for me.
Going back to Zibby 1978, there is a Guild Wars 2 trading card game on Steam Greenlight. I believe it's only Prophecies with a Factions expansion. It is not an authorized game through ArenaNet, but it's an indie game and it's free. So it does have trading game characteristics. I'll see if I can find a link and throw it in show notes. But it is out there. Anything else from chat? What is what? It's Steve. It's Steve. It's big. It's heavy. It's wet.
It's wet.
Anyway. Alaska Winter saying 2017 was the bounty system was cool for them. Riding around in a posse on the Deadeye. Yeehaw. Good stuff. Anybody else?
Yeah, all the new professions have been great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was kind of fun.
Oh, that was the other thing I was trying to remember. I like the newest masteries. That was what I was trying to remember.
Masteries?
Yeah, the POF masteries. I really like those. I like those better than the last ones, actually.
They were pretty straight. Yeah.
Strict.
Roman's being a smart ass, but he's saying he's hoping for new guild missions in 2018.
There's no guild team, right? It was not the revelation.
Oh, Dolvik, thank you. You're so sweet. Dolvik said finding SOTD and Mog. Puff the Magic Dragon. That's going to be in about half an hour.
I want somebody to do like a drawing of Steve the Magic Friendly Dragon.
Steve.
I still want you to draw my Norn the way you draw your French horse. Titanic. Come on, Corey. You don't know that line from Titanic?
There's no French horse in Titanic.
Never
I
mind.
don't remember this line.
You gotta watch it again. It was a decade ago. You were probably 8 when that came out.
No, I remember it. I remember seeing it in theaters. I love
Draw me, Jack. Draw me like your French horse.
Oh,
That's what Bram said,
I
right?
was like, French horse? There's no French
That's what I
horse.
There's no horse. That's my New York.
There's an antique car, but there's certainly no horses on the Titanic.
Inks has an Asura drawn that way, so.
Ooh.
No, I will draw.
Oh, French
maybe draw
girls.
your
I've been
riding
corrected.
the
I'm
friendly
sorry.
dragon.
I'm sorry. One Big Parrot is right. It was French girls, not French horse. I'm
Thank you.
sorry.
That's why I was so confused. I'm like,
Do you
What
really think
horse?
that I paid
The
attention in
stupid-
Titanic?
in
Do you think I
Titanic.
my favorort part of the movie was when the boat sank.
My mom
Sorry.
went
It
and
was
bought
over.
the
The movie was over.
Sorry.
VHS when it came out. It was still VHS tapes. It was 2 VHS tapes.
It was.
Because it was so long, and I remember my mom bought like the special widescreen edition. So there was like because TVs were still squares, so there was a black bar at the top and a black bar at the bottom, so you could have the whole theater with. And I remember I was young, so I didn't understand it, and I was so like, "Mom, you bought the wrong version."
Spoiler tag for Titanic.
Hmm?
Spoiler tag for Titanic.
Oh.
All right, it's falling apart.
On
Let's
the
take
VHS formatting. What? No.
let's take
No, on
a
the ship
let's
ticket.
take a
and
quick
just so you know,
break.
everybody heard horse, Gord.
Yeah, that's my New York. That's how I say
No,
horse.
no, that's
It's
a
kind
speech
it's kind of
impediment.
like
You can
it's
speech
kind of
there.
like Boston. Boston says it horse.
The French horse.
The French horse. Draw me like your French horse, Jack.
You got to do
I
it
got
like
the
your
New
French
York.
horse.
Yeah.
You know, it's
No,
kind of
no,
like
but
that. Yeah.
It's a speech impediment.
All right. So with that, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Oh, this goddamn thing muted.
Are you not ready again?
I turned it off. I turned Do Not Disturb off. Son of a gun.
I'm gonna
I'll
take
put
a
it
real
in
break.
post. I'm gonna put it in post. Do you need a break?
No, we're finishing out the show, so.
And we're back. It's a great break.
Yay!
Yay! All right, so that's it. That's our thoughts on 2017 and what it meant to us in the first news of the year and so on and so forth. So, Gallios, do you have any shout outs, buddy?
I want to shout out to the chat room tonight, man. The chat room has been amazing
Yeah,
tonight.
chat room was a bomb.
They have steered the show a bit. I mean, we should let them write the show every week.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Right?
I could play more Warcraft.
Oh crap! You're such a nerd.
I'm an ass. I am an asshole. Anyway, any shout outs?
No, I don't have any this week. I'm sorry, buddy. No iTunes updates. No nothing. We may be being blackballed.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'll take it. I
I
accept
have a
it.
shout out.
Miko has a shout out.
I have a shout out to Erilyn from Relics of Ore and Hero Guild for being an awesome resource for me this week. She has been championing me and just kind of cheering on my moving progress and giving me all kinds of tips on like the Tennessee area and cool everything. It's just been awesome because she's going to be about, I don't know, half an hour or something like that for me. So it's been really cool. She's giving me all the insider knowledge. It's awesome.
Awesome.
So Erilyn, thank you.
All right. Corey, you have any shout outs?
I don't, because I had the plague. Yeah, I had the plague. I
Shout
was
out
not
to the
interacting. Shout out to all my fellow plague survivors. We
There
made
you
it.
go.
All right. And just so
Yeah.
everybody can see, this is the proof of Inks. Oh, I lost it. Hold on. Where'd it go? Hold
I
on.
don't know, but you got to get it up
Oh.
there.
Here is the proof of Inks. That's his little
No.
Asura that was drawn like a horse.
Like a horse.
Like a horse?
Like a horse.
No.
You go, what?
Like the horse.
Oh boy.
Uh,
All right, so I have a shout out. My shout out is going to be to Deo, Age, Arlie, and Malthanis at Talking Script for getting together with us, getting me and Gallios out for some toy podcast the lips. And Dale really did a great job. He, those guys did all the legwork for that. So, I definitely appreciate that. And it was a lot of fun. I hope to do it again. So we'll look for something to do next time, or something a little bit more, I don't know, a little more regular. Maybe I'll do the work this time, and not make somebody else do all the work. But I just had a lot
pull
going
you
on
out
for
of
the
World
holiday.
of Warcraft.
Yeah, pull me out of World of Warcraft. My poor garrison will suffer. So for all those guys that talk, it's great job. We had a lot of fun. It was great getting together and doing some toy apocalypse and sharing some time. I know that everybody else was trying to get involved, and it was tough. And even Miko and Kora couldn't make it, but we'll have something a little more advanced, maybe not around the holidays next time. So look for that. But thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming out, chat room.
Thanks, everybody.
You were
Yeah,
amazing.
guys, thanks.
All right, so Gallios, if the good people want to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
They can get in touch with me in game at Gallios.8142. You can reach me on Twitter at Gallios_GW2. And you can hit me up in our Discord channel at Gallios #3334.
All right, and Kora.
You can find me on Twitter at Guildlores. I'm also on Instagram and Tumblr as Guildlores, and Discord I am Kora #2568, and in game I am south of Neptune.6254.
You're
Yes.
so good at that. Now, let me ask you, if you do get the job at ArenaNet, is your email going to be guildlores@arenanet.com? Because I just need to know where to send the troll emails.
I'll give you troll. I'm making a dragon. I'm gonna send you Steve the Friendly Dragon.
There you go.
All right.
You trolling.
Miko, where can the good people get in touch with you?
You can follow me here on Twitch and on Twitter at InkySticks. In game, I am sanspen.6093, and on Discord, I am Miko #3586. None of my handles match.
All right, nice. And if you want to get in touch with the show, you can reach us at sotdpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at SOTD_podcast, and you can find everything you need to know at SOTDpodcast.com. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter at JustGord1, which I'll probably stop being a dick and change that back to Gord the Norn. I think I made my point. Anyway, you can follow me on Discord at Gord #4133, and you can always get me in game at Gord.8654. That's it. Another show in the can.
Yay!
Das ist alles.
Tell Mama I said hi, Gallios.
Yeah, she was in here. She was giving me crap. She's like, "You sound like such a dork." Gallios.8142.
Ooh, it's making funny.
Yeah, she was totally making fun of me. I had to mute my mic because she's like standing in the doorway, just going on and on and on. And on.
Nice.
I just want
You know what? That's fine. I'm still trying to explain to my mom. Okay, so the whole with the Winter's Day zine and the Guild Mag annual, and I'm like, Mom, I like a couple short stories, and my mom, being the mother, is like, oh, make sure to send me. I want copies. Order me copies because I want copies of everything you do. So I'm like, okay, Mom, and then I have to explain to her like it's going to be in there as Kora and not like the birth name you gave me, and she's like, wait. Who's Kora? So wait, you're Kora, but you're also your real name. But what? Like her trying to understand that, and then you're also Guildlores, but you're Kora. Like, I'm like, Mom, just think of it as like pen. It's just a pen name.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was a conversation. That was a great. Bless her for trying her hardest to understand her poor, weird, geeky daughter.
It's always awesome trying to explain to somebody who doesn't play games what it means to play games.
The conversation I tried to explain pro gamers to my mother, she just straight up started laughing.
Yeah.
Like, she's not a laugher. I thought she was going to pee her pants. She was laughing so hard.
Yeah.
At the idea that people get paid to play games professionally like an athlete. Oh my God, yeah.
Exactly. All right, let's end the show here and do this in post.
Yes.
So good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, guys.
Night, everybody.